Ode to Joy?
Ode to Joy.
Ode to Joy. All right. Ode to Joy is played in ink.
I think it should be.
Just read the ink.
Read the second.
All right.
Wait, you have the, that's your part.
There's no DS, there's no nothing.
You first? Yeah, first. Yeah, cool. All right. We got, you're off of this, right?
Oh, am I?
Sure. I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Turn to fanfare.
Fanfare?
And there may be an announcement in between the fanfare and trumpet voluntary, so just wait for my cue.
Okay. Okay, you guys got the
Okay?
fanfare.
There might be an announcement.
You got something. Nice. Well done, guys. Yeah, indeed. Very clever.
It's a little easier.
Don't forget to repeat. Thank you. Well, yeah. Not it. That was close. It's what Mike was for.
Wait, what?
Mike? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and welcome the platform party and the 10th President of Southern Methodist University, R. Gerald Turner.
Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here for this important occasion in the life of the university. You may be seated. I'm pleased as president of the university to welcome you to the 106th Baccalaureate Service of SMU. This Baccalaureate Service is an occasion for joyful thanksgiving for those whose achievements we herald this evening, but of course we truly celebrate tomorrow. It's a time for the ingathering of the undergraduate SMU community, candidates for graduation, their families, their friends. Candidates who you entered the university when you participated in the Rotunda processional, walking through the Rotunda of Dallas Hall as first-year students from the back to the front, and then coming out on the main quad symbolizing your entry into the university community. I'm sure that seems like a very fast 4 years ago. You've had a lot going on, but nevertheless, it's been 4 years. And tonight, we get the opportunity this afternoon for you to do the recessional, where you walk back through, and when you go out the back, it symbolizes the fact that you're to be alumni. The fact that you're graduating means that when you did the processional, you didn't step on the seal, or you would not have graduated. But tonight, we still will have some alumni marshals there, but nevertheless, it's been a successful time for you. Many of the parents that are here tonight also are alumni of the university, and I want to acknowledge the alumni marshals. These are alumni whose daughters and sons graduate tomorrow, and this group will be helping us tonight, but they are a symbol of our larger community. So alumni marshals, would you please stand? Alumni marshals. There they are back here. Thank you very much, and thank you for being willing to work with us on this. I also want to add a word of special welcome to those who are joining the service that online, or maybe you're over in the Hugh Strigg Student Center on a simulcast, but either way, welcome to this activity. This is a time of reflection, a time of passage, and a time of gratitude. Serious gratitude. A university is more than a collection of individual students, faculty, staff, administrators. We're all part of a community that makes up the whole institution, and our goal is to preserve, perfect, and create knowledge. We're a community engaged in the mutual task of seeking and trying to understand truth. It's fitting, therefore, that Southern Methodist University recognizes the departure from our midst of some of this community by an act of worship. Reverend Lisa Garvin, chaplain and minister to the university, will call us to worship, followed by a hymn which will be led by the Meadows School of the Arts vocal performance graduates that are a part of the senior class. So would you please stand for the call to worship and the opening hymn? Please stand.
Please join me in the responsive call to worship, which is printed in your program. We gather to celebrate and joyfully sing to God. Together, let us share our praises and thankfulness. You, O God, are the holy God, always and forever. You are the eternal one from whom all things come. O God, we are your children, created by and with your love. Amen.
enfolds us, sustains and enfolds us, as we strive to do what creation demands. Our hope unabating, we too are creating, with God who seeks most lives of love, souls on earth. So let us be faithful, our hearts always grateful, our eyes fastened on the new heaven and new earth.
Please be seated. A reading from Proverbs chapter 3, verses 13 through 24. Happy are those who find wisdom and those who gain understanding. Her profit is better than silver, and her gain better than gold. Her value exceeds pearls. All you desire can't compare with her. In her right hand is a long life, in her left are wealth and honor. Her ways are pleasant, all her paths are peaceful. She is a tree of life to those who embrace her. Those who hold her tight are happy. The Lord laid the foundations of the earth with wisdom, establishing the heavens with understanding. With his knowledge, the watery depths burst open and the skies drop dew. My children, don't let them slip from your eyes. Hold on to sound judgment and discretion. They will be life for your whole being and an ornament for your neck. Then you will walk safely on your path and your foot won't stumble. If you lie down, you won't be terrified. When you lie down, your sleep will be present. Holy wisdom, holy word.
Thank all of you students. McFarland Auditorium opened in 1926, and so we'll soon be celebrating the 100th anniversary of this beautiful facility. But it's a fitting venue for our gathering today and for so many other gatherings that we have on our campus. In 1966, Dr. Martin Luther King spoke here at the invitation of our student body right in the height of the civil rights movement. And through the efforts of students, this generation of students, a plaque from the Texas Historical Society was requested and delivered, and we had in February an event celebrating that. You can see the plaque as you look at McFarland Auditorium from the street. It's right on your right. And many, many people come to take a picture of that. And so that's just one of the many famous events that's occurred here. Today's baccalaureate speaker understands the meaning behind pursuing a greater cause. Since he was a teenager, Daniel Roby has had a heart to help those who are experiencing homelessness, one of the great challenges of our country and really the world at this time. Not only does he want them to have a permanent home, but also a place that they can stay safely until that time. He currently serves as CEO of Austin Street Center. Some of you have done volunteer work with Austin Street Center and with Genesis, its partner in service to Texans and particularly those from Dallas. It's the largest no-cost emergency space for individuals experiencing homelessness in Dallas. With a team of 79 staff members and an annual budget of $10 million, he manages a shelter that services over 400 guests each night. His journey began to his current role. It's been rather unique, and I'm sure you'll be inspired by what he shares with us of his story of how he got here, one of the youngest people to direct such a big center in the United States. Let me give you a little background. After graduating from Baylor University, for which he's still trying to overcome it, then working with homeless youth in Portland, Oregon after graduating, for several years he did that, and then returned to Dallas, and he now resides in Lake Highlands and just down the road from SMU, and he and his wife and 3 children come to campus a lot. Daniel has numerous accomplishments as CEO, which you can read in your program. If there were any doubts about his personal discipline and focus extending outside his CEO role, earlier this year he completed a half Ironman. That's 1.2-mile swim, 56-mile bike ride, and 13-mile run, all in one day. Despite that, he's a sane, devoted guy. But please join me in extending a warm welcome to our baccalaureate speaker for 2023, Daniel Roby.
Well, congratulations. You guys have finished, and you finished well. Let me start by thanking Dr. Turner for his incredible leadership. You know, for almost 30 years now, Dr. Turner has led this amazing institution, and it's progressed in amazing ways in research and community involvement and interest, and it's been remarkable to watch. And Lisa Garvin as well for choosing just the right elements for today's event to have a meaningful service. Most of all, I want to thank each and every you for your incredible courage and commitment to your own personal development. And finally, to my beloved wife of almost 20 years, who I would not be up here today if it was not for her. It must be pretty great to be an SMU graduate. You are part of an elite group of people. In this room, there's going to be future famous musicians. There are future business owners, of course, moms and dads. But we've got teachers, bankers, flight attendants, and cinematographers that are all in this room today. You're going to be actors and nurses, counselors, consultants. And many of you will get married, some of you to each other. In a room this size, it's almost guaranteed that you're also going to face some really difficult challenges. And you've experienced already plenty of challenges in trying to teach your professors how to unmute their screen and stay 6 feet away from just about everybody. I'm not certain that I've lived long enough to be able to provide an adequate display of wisdom, but I do want to share a few words of things that I've learned from others, and I hope they're an encouragement and something that each one of you take away today. The first one is really about getting wisdom. Wisdom can be found in really unlikely places. I've spent a good amount of time with people that have nothing at all. They don't have a dime to their name. There's nothing in their pockets. There's nothing they take with them. And I can tell you that rock bottom is one of life's most consistent teachers, both for those that experience it, but for me as well. I've also learned that these men and women have wisdom that you can't really get any other way. Like our reading today, I've learned if you cry out for wisdom and if you seek it, then you're going to find it. I want to encourage you guys to do what's right. That may seem a little bit cliche. There'll be lots of opportunities, I don't care what field that you're in, to cheat to get by. And my encouragement is that you don't fall for it. It's a priceless gift to be able to lay your head on the pillow each and every night, knowing that you gave all you could and that you stand with integrity with that. It's because in the long run, people are going to admire you for your honesty, for your authenticity, much more than any short-term success that you could ever get in your career. 10 years from now, many of our friends will be exactly where you thought they would be. Others may surprise you. But for you, remember, there's more than one way to be an honor student. One of those ways is to live honorably and to be a student for the rest of your life. You may already know this, but you're not really in control of much. There are seasons in life, and there's a greater power at work in each one of you and in me. Sometimes the best way forward often looks like a detour at the time. So I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of my personal story and the detours that I've taken. See, after I graduated from college, I moved to Portland, Oregon, and my parents were all really pleased to hear that I got a job at Starbucks with my degree. Don't be intimidated, parents. I promise the story gets better. So that's detour number one, not what I expected. My parents thought I was crazy for moving across the country, but I was committed to serving people, to loving people. I cared deeply, and in that process, I found what for me was a genuine calling, to care for those that need it the most. I was asked to run a homeless youth drop-in center for a period of time, then went to a chaplaincy at a rescue mission. And when I interviewed for that job and met with the executive director, I saw this guy and I was like, man, that is what I want to do. That's who I want to be. When I did that, things began to go sideways. So this is now beginning to be detour number 2, because I began to struggle to meet the financial needs of my growing family and all my kids, working at a homeless shelter, trying to figure out how we were going to make it. I ended up moving back to Dallas and, again, don't be terrified, parents, but moved in with my parents for 3 months. Here's why I tell you that, though, because in that process, I took an entry-level business job. This is 10 years out of school, and most of the people that I knew growing up, they got 3 or 4 promotions by then, right? And I was starting entry-level. And as I did that and took that detour, I ended up learning a lot through the process. I ended up learning about the business side of nonprofit organizations that I hadn't known before. And I never would have thought that those years were preparing me for what I would ultimately do. See, now I have the blessing and responsibility of the position that I once looked at somebody else having and thought, that's exactly what I want to do. So my encouragement is to brace detours. Sometimes, to go right, you end up having to go left for a little while. So it's okay to be afraid. I know youthfulness is filled with confidence, but the definition of courage is not the absence of fear. It's the ability to do what actually terrifies you. I'll never forget the advice my brother Clay once gave me when I didn't know what to do. He said, Daniel, just do the thing that you'll be glad you did, even if it doesn't work out. So you'll always see clearly when you follow that advice. You may get discouraged, you may have doubts in your decisions, but if you do the next right thing and take a step of faith, I don't worry that any of the people in this room that you all are going to succeed. I'm more worried that you won't give it everything that you possibly could. I learned from my father that comfort enters as your friend and soon becomes your master. You have to be relentless with this and not give up. See, I think you may have learned determination wins over talent 7 days out of the week. A lot of leadership is really about letting other people know that you're willing to put in the hard work. Don't just have dreams, have goals, put in that 10,000 hours. But remember why you do that. Most people, they give the same 100 hours of experience and they repeat those hours over and over and over again. Make sure that each and every hour that you invest in yourself, is helping you grow and learn something new. I want to encourage you guys not to make a living alone, but also to make a difference. I've met cashiers who brighten people's day with every drink of coffee that they hand out. Real estate brokers that have really changed and transformed communities by revitalizing neighborhoods. I know bankers who have connected business owners to amazing causes, and lawyers who pursue discrimination cases that make us for a more just society. One of my favorite quotes is from a man who defined responsibility as the response to your ability. I love that. It's not just the job that's who you are, it's what you're doing while becoming who you are. So, don't forget your valleys. If you want to make an impact, you got to get to work. I always feel like someone's about to hand me some meaningful task every time I wonder why on earth God wants me to do X, Y, or Z. Someone is there offering that to me, and sometimes mopping the floors at a restaurant, which I did at like 14 at Abrams and 635, or selling books door to door in the summer of Florida. Through these experiences, I've gotten a new perspective. I'll never forget the first time I worked for a multi-billion-dollar company during my business hiatus from homeless services work. And I saw the CEO of that organization after a company event vacuuming the floors. When I saw that, I just stopped and I watched him for like 5 minutes. And I realized, man, isn't that who I want to be? Isn't it who each of you want to be? It's important not to want to give up and to make sure that you can persevere, that you have faith, and that when you get knocked down, you're willing to get up over and over and over again. See, actions matter, and each one of you are practicing who you are becoming. Dallas is a very small city. The boyfriend or girlfriend you have now may be your best friend's boyfriend or girlfriend later. Remember, too, that some of the people you're most frustrated with today, you may have to interview with them to get your dream job. So be passionate, but stay civil. We could use more of that today. Be honest, but remember that not every emotion needs to be shared with every person. Be a safe person for others to be around, and don't compare yourself to others. The next 10 years of your life are really not about what career that you end up moving into, as hard as that may be to imagine. It's really about who do you choose to become as a person. I hope that each one of you, if you have not already, will please take the time to write out a personal mission statement, to write down what your core values are, so that when you're offered the next job, when you're offered to go to the next party, whatever the next decision is, you know who you want to be and if it lines up with that or not. So I'm going to end today with sharing you about my family's mission statement. This is not written just by myself. This is written with my 4 kids and my wife. They teach me so much every single day. It's pretty short and simple. So the first part of it is to love God. The second part of my life mission is to live thankfully. And the third part of my life mission is to serve others. Now, I hope you go find who you want to be. Thank you, guys. Way to go. I hope you're proud to be an SMU graduate. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God. Today I'll be reciting This Day We Say Grateful, Ascending Blessing by Jan Richardson. It is a strange thing to be bound and so released at the same moment, to feel a heart open wide and wider still, even as it turns and takes its leave. On this day, let us say this simply is the way that love moves, in its ceaseless spiraling, turning us towards one another, then sending us into what awaits for us with open arms wide, for us to welcome and be in hope. On this day, in this place where you have poured yourself out, where you have been emptied and filled and emptied again, may you be more aware of your heart more than ever as it has opened, what it has tended and welcomed here, where it has broken in love and in grief, where it has given and received blessing. In the unfathomable mystery that moves us, undoes us, and remakes us, finally, for joy. This day, you may know this joy in full measure. This day, you may know its blessings. That gathers you in and sends you forth, but you will not forget you. Oh, hear us as this day we say grace. This day we say grateful. This day we say blessing. This day we release you in God's keeping and hold you in gladness and love.
I invite you all to stand for the benediction and sending forth. Class of 2023, please join me in the responsive benediction, a blessing from St. Francis on you and your future. May God bless you with discomfort at easy answers, half-truths, and superficial relationships. May God bless you with anger at injustice, oppression, and exploitation of people. May God bless us with the tears to shed for those who suffer from pain, injustice, starvation, and war. And may God bless you with enough foolishness to believe that you can make a difference in the world. Go forth in peace to be world changers. Be of good courage. Think big. Do good, so that those to whom love is a stranger will find in you generous friends. Amen. Please be seated and remain seated as we now transition to the passing of the Howard Lantern and starting of the Rotunda recessional ceremony.
Greetings. I am Thomas Fomby, Professor of Economics and Chief Marshal Emeritus of Academic Ceremonies at the university. It is a tradition of this ceremony for the Howard Lantern to be passed to the incoming senior class from the current senior class, representing the passing of the light of learning and leadership responsibilities from one senior class to the next. Representing the class of 2023 is Student Body President Sidney Castle. Alex Alarcon, next year's Student Body President, will receive the lantern on behalf of the class of 2024. We will now hear remarks from Ms. Castle. Christine Henderson, the SMU Board President, will be welcoming you to the Alumni Association. Ms. Castle.
Hello, everyone. As you go throughout the rest of this evening and tomorrow, I encourage you to reflect on all the moments that have shaped you into the person you are today, and to recognize that the person you become is largely due to the people that you are surrounded by in this room. Whether it be your parents, extended family, friends, whoever those two people are that you deemed worthy of your only 2 tickets tomorrow, someone sacrificed a great deal so that you could walk away with a degree that no one can take away from you. An education from the finest faculty that has equipped you with the knowledge and resources for you to be and do anything and everything you want in this world as you embark on your journey. Tomorrow is the day that you begin your journey, to live a life that can only be defined by you. As you go off to make this world a better place, I encourage you to embrace the unknown rather than fear it. I want to share one of my favorite quotes that I always seem to default back to as I understand it to be true in all aspects of life. Oscar Wilde once said, "If you know what you want to be, then you inevitably become it. That is your punishment." Actually, not knowing what you want to be, reinventing yourself every morning, not being a noun, but being a third being moving in life, not being fixed in life is a privilege, even though it's a difficult one. What he's saying here is that if each day you are unsure of who you are and what you know, you will never become anything, and that is your reward. So this might be a strange thing to share on the day before graduation, to never become anything. But what this means to me is that it's okay to go out into this daunting world and have no clue what the next step is. It allows us to make mistakes and pick ourselves back up. It allows us to pursue our passions when we didn't even know they existed in the first place. While on this journey of self-discovery, think about how you want to be remembered. In the end, people aren't going to be talking about how much money you make, the clothes you wear, or the house you live in. None of it will matter. They're going to be talking about the effect you had on them and how you made them feel. Remember this as you end your time here at SMU to begin your next chapter. Today is your day to celebrate, and tomorrow is the first day of the rest of your life. Congratulations, class of 2023, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. I now call on Alex Alarcon, representing the class of 2024, to accept the Howard Lantern. We, the class of 2023, pass this lantern to you. It symbolizes the light of learning which shines in all of us at SMU.
Thank you, and congratulations. Good evening. As chair of the SMU Alumni Board, it is my pleasure to celebrate with you the next phase of your Mustang journey. Remember back to the first time you walked through Dallas Hall until now. It's been a pretty amazing journey already, hasn't it? And I'm sure you've heard that while your memories made while here on the hilltop are special right now, with the passage of time, they will become even more meaningful. The skills, the experiences, the friendships you've gained along the way will be with you for a lifetime, and they're only just beginning. Soon, you'll be an SMU alum, joining a lifelong community that is 140,000 members strong. Our alumni span the entire globe, so no matter where life takes you, you will have an alumni community to support you and help you every step of the way. This evening, I'd like to give you 3 pieces of advice. First, stay connected. Join your fellow young alumni for networking events, volunteer opportunities, happy hours and tailgates here in Dallas and across the nation. And if you happen to find yourself in a city without an active alumni chapter, contact us here at SMU and we'll help you start one. Next, stay engaged. Follow along with what's happening on the hilltop. Subscribe to the alumni social media channels. Follow your favorite professors in their work. Read the alumni magazine and the newsletters. Our ongoing engagement with our alma mater helps impact SMU's future world changers. Finally, stay invested. Giving back is part of what it means to be a Mustang. Sharing your time and your treasure show current SMU students that the alumni community cares about them. Now let's talk about tomorrow. The day will be a whirlwind. And as someone who sat right there over 40 years ago, I will tell you one last bit of advice. Stay in the moment as much as you can. And as you let the celebration soak in, reflect on everything that brought you to this moment, and look around at all the people that helped you along the way. Soon, alumni parents and family will depart the ceremony ahead of you so that they will line the walkway from here to Dallas Hall. And it's a signature tradition called the Rotunda Recessional. It symbolizes everything I just said about the alumni community. SMU alums lead the way for others. We stand beside each other. So remember, you are joining a connected, engaged, and invested alumni network. Congratulations on your accomplishment, and welcome to the alumni family. Thank you. I would now ask our alumni marshals to quietly exit the auditorium to prepare for the rotunda recessional. Thank you.
Graduates, as Ms. Henderson mentions, we want you to stay in touch with SMU. One of your first opportunities will be in June when you receive the graduation follow-up survey. I strongly encourage all of you to tell us your story so that we can boast of your success and achievements. Before we begin the recessional, I have an important reminder for tomorrow morning's ceremony. Moody Coliseum requires a security screening of all guests and candidates. The only bags allowed into the stadium are small clutch purses, no larger than 8.5 by 5.5 inches, and guests may bring clear plastic bags no larger than 12 by 6 by 12 inches. Please do not arrive at Moody with a purse, camera bag, diaper bag, backpack, or fanny pack, as they will not be allowed inside the Coliseum. For a list of all prohibited items, please review the May commencement website, the address of which is listed on the back of your program. Now let us turn to the details of our recessional. After the singing of Varsity, the platform party will move across the stage and take position down this aisle in preparation of leading the student march to Dallas Hall. After the platform party is in place, our ushers will dismiss the general audience on the first floor. This advanced move allows families and friends of the students to move outside to see in full the students recess toward Dallas Hall. Parents and friends, do not worry. We will not start the walk to Dallas Hall without you. So please do not rush in exiting the auditorium. Don't rush. On the other hand, please do not block the exits or steps in front of the auditorium so that our graduates will not be impeded in their walk to Dallas Hall. Thank you. Now the Meadows vocal performance graduates will lead us in the singing of Varsity. Please rise. Thank you for leading us in Varsity. Will the ushers please guide the audience in the balcony through the north and south exits of the auditorium? You move first. The audience on the floor of the auditorium will be dismissed after the platform party has processed to the back of the auditorium. Otherwise, stay seated. Let the rotunda recessional begin.